Really? There was a low internet connection?
We're already having internet issues.
You know what? It's we shouldn't have internet issues.
It's Zuckerberger.
There's no internet issues because
Zuckerberger is still trying to censor us.
Whatever. Good
Is that his
morning. Name? What I want to know is if we're actually live.
It says live.
I know, but did you get a notification? Can I check while you're talking?
No, because I'm gonna check.
You're gonna check.
Yeah.
Are we there? We're there.
Yeah, we're there.
Hi, Betty Tan and Dicker.
Good morning. Welcome to Brian&Carrie in the morning. It's been a long time since I've said that.
Don't you say that every Tuesday?
No, because our show is not called Brian&Carrie in the morning.
Oh, eliminate your limits, Brian&Carrie. That's true.
Can I sing our song?
Yes, you can.
Okay, because I miss our song.
Go.
Maya's distracting me by singing it. I miss our song, and I've changed it special.
You have?
I've changed it special. Have you not heard me practicing
I have heard you practicing it, actually.
So you know I changed it special.
Yeah.
The routine can be boring when you're quarantining. But with the crew, you'll be soaring. It's
Brian&Carrie in the morning.
Oh my goodness gracious.
You know what's crazy?
Hi, the Tupperware, we're back!
First of all, hi everybody. Louis, Kendra.
Hide the Tupperware.
Joanne.
And the kids, put the dogs away.
For the record, Justin Bosley commented yesterday, hide the Tupperware. And I was like, that is a classic BG-ism.
Yes.
Also, you know what I forgot
Janine
about?
Foot is here. Good morning.
I forgot about your on-air shrill. We talked about that on air. You just did it with hide the Tupperware. And I was like...
Was it loud?
Well, it's not so much that it was loud. It's the pitch that you go to.
Louis Seguin, salut, ça va? Tatiana Ramos, salut, ça va?
Sarah Houlihan.
Don't
Do
just
people?
look at my monitor.
I'm curious to know, Sarah. Do people refer to you as Sarah Hooligan? Because that's what I would do.
Do people refer to her as salad?
You know what I mean. Anyways, this is so much fun. Hi, Matthew Govro, the good son.
Oh, the good son's here, and Jen Langlois is here, Lisa Arsenault is here, and Dana Burrow-Clark is here, Joanne. Salut,
I wonder if we're going to be out of pattern or if we're going to be in pattern.
No, we're in pattern right now. Today is episode special number 1.
Brian&Carrie in the morning special.
I'm just trying to remember something. Are you the one who did the show run, or was it me?
Happy birthday, Jeff Patton.
It was his birthday yesterday.
I know, but I didn't talk to him.
I wore the army fatigues in respect because he was in the army.
And
that's why I wore them.
Jennifer Owens and Justin Devonshire. Look at him! Justin Devonshire is here! Don't do the shrill!
I thought he's so handsome.
That's shrill, though.
Yasmina is here.
Oh, man.
Rain is here.
You know what?
You, Lisa.
Look at, this is like our peeps back in the house, the crew.
Can I, 1 second. What's the, I don't know what the
We have things to do. Where's my crew? I said
I was just about to say, can I do my show now?
We didn't talk about today.
This is special episode number 1. It's called Quarantine Routine.
Yeah.
So if you're out there in Crew Nation Land, which you are because you're watching us right now. What's so funny?
This is just fun.
How about we get this into everybody's news feed because news sucks. And we don't. Let's get the share train rolling right now.
Choo-choo!
I'm going to share early and often.
Share it out. Okay, can I tell people why I want them to share before you keep going?
Of course, sure.
Okay, here is why
Jeff
I want
Patton
you to
says
share.
I'm squeaking.
Because, Justin, we'll stream to YouTube starting tomorrow. You just have to tell us how to do that.
Yeah, Justin.
Okay,
Thanks for your help.
Can I say this, though?
Oh my God, there's someone named Laïs Eyes.
I'm going to talk about Laïs in a second.
What's her name?
Laïs.
Did I used to call her on Brian&Carrie in the morning Laïs?
Yes, you did, or Lays. Remember, one time
Lays.
we were like, "How do you say that?" Because I'm saying it wrong. But no, this is why you need to share this out, okay? Because we are in a very different world right now.
We are.
And the media is heavy for a lot of people. And one of the things that we're going to talk about probably this week is the power of influence.
Yes.
And what information you're choosing to feed yourself with. Yes. More than ever, mindset matters most.
It does.
So we need to pump this out.
That was cerebral.
We need to get this out to as many people as we can.
That was passionate.
Because there are people right now who need a little bit of a lift. They need to feel connected. They need to understand where to go and what to do. So,
wow.
So share this out.
I'm feeling inspired, right? I want to share it.
Well, you can. You're watching it from right there.
No, but because right now I'm watching comments.
So
Amy
please
Shuhas,
share
Lindsay
that.
Curry, Caitlin Graham, Fawn Marie, Jen Langlois, Kim Ball. Everybody's here. This feels good. Also, I'm not digging right now that these are going to be half-hour installments because I feel like I only get warmed up at like minute 22.
We'll be okay. We'll manage. We have to serve other people as well.
Also, Kai is here. Hi, Kai. I miss saying that.
Hi, guys.
No, Kai.
No, I'm just happy.
Also, if you're watching right now and you are, hi, Anne Bart Vive, all the way in Europe.
Look at you guys go. Look at you
I
guys.
stopped to look at you to say something about Anne Bart Vive, and all I do is say, look at you guys.
Hi, cousin Patrick.
Cousin Patrick. Let me tell you something about Cousin Patrick. Cousin Patrick is an American hero.
He is.
My first cousin Patrick is a hero. He's a police officer outside of Cleveland, Ohio. First responders are the shit.
They are.
And you know what? On Eliminate Your Limits with Brian and Carrie, our weekly radio show on Sirius XM, which is currently suspended because of the corona zombie apocalypse.
Quarantine Central.
I can't swear on that show. But this is Brian and Carrie in the morning, so fuck them and fuck you too. I can swear if I want to.
Not often, though. We talked about this.
Oh, really?
Because remember, that's why we stopped swearing on the show.
Really?
By the way, I don't know if we
feel
should
bad
get to
now.
a show today at all. We should just talk.
We're going to do a show.
Can I say something, though?
Can I finish my thing first? Can I do my thing now?
Okay, yeah, go.
I say unto you, if you're out there in Crew Nation land, and you are, because you're watching right now, oh my goodness, I've missed this so much. Where my crew at?
Crew!
Yes!
I love that we can just jump right back in. You know, I'm gonna.
Angie Olsen's here, Lynette Macy's is here, Kristen Michelle is here, Sassy Pants Persiste is here.
I am gonna share my story
Oh,
right
but
now.
sure.
I wish I had coffee right now because then I would have a visual to tell this story about Laïs Villemer. Because this
I
is
think it's actually
this
pronounced
is such a fun story.
I think it's pronounced Lace.
Okay, I'm not going to take too long, but this is such a fun story. Okay, let me say this. Maybe we'll have to start the show at like 10 to 11 for the pre-show.
Yes, we have to do a pre-show again.
That I can get behind. Okay, so listen to me. Everybody listen to this. And Laïs is going to be like sitting there going, oh, stop it, stop it, stop it.
Nicole Cooper's here.
But this is such a fun story. Okay, so years ago, I think we were still living in Mayfair in Montreal.
That was in Montreal,
when
yeah.
Laïs started tuning into our Brian and Carrie in the morning show.
Yasmina, yes. Every morning at 10:50 Eastern Standard Time, we're live.
And I remember that we used to see Laïs's name pop up on the screen.
Same
And we used to be like, Laïs, Lays, Lies.
We never said Laïs.
And like, no, you're right. We never said, we're like, how do you say your name? Like,
Right.
right? And so we finally figured out whatever. But like, Laïs has kind of been in our BNC crew, over the last couple of years.
Right.
And then here we are, we moved to Miami. And all of a sudden, we moved to Miami, and on my news feed starts popping up Laïs and all her competition stuff, because she's a WBFF pro diva.
Pro diva.
And so I start watching her
That's
journey.
serious.
And then you and I decide to get married again. And as you know, we invited everybody in this area, right?
Yeah, they
to
didn't come.
So I reached out to Laïs and Raph and said, like,
That's right.
I know this sounds like so weird, but you want to come to the wedding.
Right.
They couldn't make it because they had classes. But then, fast forward, I tell my coach Jason, I want you to prep me this prep as if I'm competing.
Yes.
He says, well, if you're gonna prep like you're gonna compete, why don't you compete? And I was like, okay. Same day, pop a message to Laïs, and I'm like, I'm competing. I need a posing coach. You're the only person I want. And like boom, like that history, Raph and Laïs,
good people, eh?
the best.
Laïs and Raph.
I wouldn't be able to do this journey without her.
Good
but my
people.
whole point is like, look at the BNC community and the crew.
Right.
And who would have thought here we would have moved down
Who would
to
have thunk
Miami?
it?
You never know. We might be moving somewhere next to you sometime.
Never can tell.
You don't know. Anyways, that's my shout out
Can
to
I-
Laïs, my posing coach.
Can I also add that somebody asked us about 10 minutes ago if it's raining, because it's raining in Atlanta, Georgia. It is kind of, it's
rainy
murky and rainy here in Miami as
Have you
well.
shared this yet?
Speaking of Raph, he's here as well. Chris Goldowski, one of my I love. He's an OG. And by the way, Chris Goldowski, you don't know this, but Maya and Chase are just off camera. And as soon as I said Chris Goldowski, Maya went
It's a Papa Bear.
Because
What's the Polar Bear
Polar
Club?
Bear Club.
Yeah.
in Spain. That's right.
Right.
Kelsey is here. Patrick Allen Jones is here. Lori Curlin's here. Justin Boser's back. Woohoo!
Press share one more time. Do it. You'll survive.
I get to play too.
I'm sorry. If you
I get to play too.
Any the women who are in parts of my groups, like I have 2 groups on Facebook, right? Know that like I have been like on fuego the last 3 weeks. So this is just.
Well, I'm going to do my job right now because usually I'm just eye candy. But today I'm going to be not just eye candy and say, hey, share train, let's go. Choo choo! Press share again. Also, I want to add about Lais because there was a period of time for some reason I couldn't, like in our house when I was talking to you, I couldn't, like my mouth wouldn't formulate Lais.
That's what happens with me with I know.
Do you remember that? And so the last time we saw Lais and Raph, I asked her permission if I can call her Brazil.
That's right, because she's from Brazil.
Because, she's from Brazil and she gave me permission. So it's really Raph in Brazil now. I'm just
love
saying.
that.
Mike Snyder's here. Amanda's here.
And Raph, whose name is Raphael, but people call him Ralph, and that confuses me. I can't seem to pick one or the other.
Raph.
So I use both.
Raph.
Whatever.
Also, I want to add something. We're going to start tomorrow. We're going to start with a pre-show.
Right.
So 11 a.m. Eastern, we go live with, content. But at 10:50, that's when our pre-show is, and that's when all the fun happens. So make sure you're here tomorrow at 10:50. Also, everybody inside the Brian&Carrie Crew Nation Clubhouse, later on this week, we're going to have a meeting talking about the possibility of bringing back after parties.
Right.
We don't know for sure yet,
It's exciting.
but we're going to figure it all out. Anyways.
You quarantine us, and this is what we do.
By the way, Colleen Danielson here. She's the other funny one. Because Tiffany Maxim is the original funny one, but she's not here, so whatever. I hereby nominate Colleen Danielson as a new funny one. Let me add something. Oh yeah, we've got great content today.
We do.
But something tells me the show's almost done.
No, it's not. It's only like 11:08, I bet. Oh my gosh, it's 11:09. How awesome was that?
Buy a lottery ticket.
I want to just say, I'm hungry.
I feel good at eggs and toast.
I had oatmeal and coffee and a bar.
Also, speaking of ladies/Brazil, Raph in Brazil, I'd like to come to your house for food because I saw your Facebook story with the whole no burrito thing.
The no taco salad thing? Yeah.
God, that looked good. Anyways, okay, let's talk content. Because the zombie apocalypse, it's coming.
I call it.
Maya, how do you kill a zombie? You gotta hit it in the. You're just not really talking right now. You're loud. You gotta hit it in the head.
You have to shoot it in the head?
Into the brain.
Okay, so
We all know zombies aren't real though, right?
no, what? The apocalypse is upon us.
Hybrid.
So the very first thing you have to do is make sure you practice every single day, short and medium range, making sure you're good at hitting zombies in the head. So that's the most important thing going on right now because the apocalypse is upon us. Now, the second most important thing, as I switch gears into serious, that's called a segue.
My hair looks good.
You look good. I feel funny talking to you like that with our kids present. I don't know why. Okay, the second most important thing is having a routine. Can I get like a hell yeah or something?
Yeah.
Is this thing on?
You know what I was doing? I was assessing whether I thought that was my second most important or if I had something that came before it.
No, the most important is to hone your skills in killing zombies because the apocalypse is here. The second most important thing is having a routine. What's wrong with you?
Yes, because within the routine you can take care of everything else.
Right. This is a serious show. So, we have named episode 1, special episode 1, the quarantine routine.
Yes.
And we're going to continue going into seriousness right now by talking to you about a quarantine routine. You need to have one.
Yeah.
Next topic.
No, let me talk about that for a second.
Can I tell you where that joke came from? It's an inside joke with just myself.
Yeah, it's not an inside joke.
So I'm going to explain to you right now because you've heard it before. I'm going to take 2 seconds, okay? I'm going to throw this guy under the bus. I'm going to throw this guy underneath the bus just for a second, but it's okay because we don't.
Who is it?
Cal Ripken Jr.
Oh.
Okay, Hall of Fame baseball
It's not
player.
like as if you know him.
Well, I met him a few times. Very nice man. Obviously, Hall of Fame baseball player. Amazing athlete. I spoke, God, this is like 17 years ago now, at the International Youth Sports Congress. Different lifetime. It's back when I was kind of a big deal in the whole sports performance thing.
Mm-hmm. Go Google it. Brian Grasso. IYCA.
I used to be a big deal.
Don't Google it now, though. After.
No, stay here. So I spoke at this event. It was this huge, it was like 12,000 people, International Youth Sports Congress, delegates from all over the world. Keynote speaker was Cal Ripken Jr. Now, Cal Ripken Jr. is not only a Hall of Fame baseball player, but he is what's called the Ironman record holder in like, I don't know, 285,000 years of playing baseball, he never missed one game. Never, and he's the only guy ever to do that. And that's really impressive, okay? So his keynote address, I'm laughing thinking about it. His keynote address were the 10 things you need to have in order to be an Ironman. Okay, and I was like, this is gonna be good.
I am the Iron Man! Isn't that from it?
You're kind of fucking my story up.
What's that from, though?
It's an Ozzy Osbourne song called Iron Man. Now I don't feel as bad about talking crap about Cal Ripken Jr. Anyways, the Iron Man in this reference is that he never missed playing a baseball game. Right? That's impressive. So these are the 10 things he did every single day to be an Iron Man. So, okay, so one of the greatest baseball players of all time should never speak ever again in his entire life.
We're going to get booted off of Facebook.
Zuckerberg already hates us.
Don't say that name.
So, why do I say that? Cal Ripken Jr. gave his keynote address, and I'm there, pen and paper in hand, man. The Iron Man is teaching me how to be an Iron Man. I can't wait. So he lists his 10 things. First of all, why do you do that? Why do you give me the list at the beginning? Why don't you just go one at a time so I keep being like anticipated? Right? Exactly. So he says, these are the 10 things. Dun, 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 dun. And then he says, now I'm going to go through all of them one at a time and explain them to you. I'm like, okay, well, it's going to get better, hopefully, right? So number 10, perseverance. You got to have perseverance. Number 9, and I'm like, that's all you got to say about perseverance? That's the whole thing you have to say about perseverance, is you got to have it. That's his entire speech. Perseverance, you got to have it. Whose questions? That was his speech. That's an inside joke between me and myself because I always think about that day 17 years ago when Cal Ripken Jr. sucked. That's what I got to say about that.
I don't know.
I hope he's not watching right now.
I don't get the connection, though. Oh, because you just said routine, you got to have one.
And I left it there.
Oh, okay.
Perseverance, you got to have it.
Got it.
And you left it
Routine,
there.
you got to have it. I get
Quarantine routine, you need one. I'm leaving it there.
I've got it. Sorry, I got lost there. Probably because I did the Iron Man thing.
Do it again.
I am the Iron Man!
First of all, the song's called Iron Man. It's not the Iron Man.
Whatever.
I am Iron Man.
Whatever.
That's the first thing.
If it was fully
Also,
sunny
why
outside-
does Ozzy Osbourne all of a sudden have a Dutch accent?
I don't know. But do you know if it was really sunny outside, I'd need sunglasses
I'd
right
be
now.
blinded.
So we're sitting in front of our windows. If you've seen pictures we've posted, we have floor-to-ceiling windows in our bedroom. And we're sitting right in front of them, but they're so bright. I'm like this. Let me say something.
Kristen Michelle Zuckerberg hates us. Facts.
Let me say something. Why does Yasmina Hall's thing say...
I don't know. I think I
you
pinned it. Can you unpin
You have to
it?
hold it.
Oh.
Unpin. Oh, no. Yeah, delete comment. She'll get gone.
Sorry.
Okay, first of all,
Sorry.
insert this into your routine every day. 11 a.m., Brian and Carrie in the morning for the foreseeable future.
This is what I'm talking about. There was a bird that just flew by our window.
On Tuesdays and Wednesdays, we're in slam schools.
Did you see that?
Down here in Miami.
Sorry.
We got to get the funnies out on day one.
Funny's never good.
Tuesdays and Wednesdays, historically, we're in slam schools here in Miami, but the schools
Correct.
are all shut down.
Right.
And we don't
Because
know
of the zombies.
until when. I mean, some of the schools are actually shut down for the rest of the year.
Forever.
I don't believe that's the case with slam schools, but we figured a couple things. Number one, that while they're shut down, what can we fill our days with? How can we create a routine?
Right.
Thus, we have decided to build this in every day. Yeah. But also, this is an opportunity for us to come back and do what we do best, which is entertain.
What is it we do best? I'd like to know the answer to that question.
No, but provide.
What do we do best?
What do we do best?
That's a question I'm posing to Crew Nation right now. Everybody, there's a lot of people watching, and I have to answer. If you don't answer, you're not allowed to watch anymore. Rules. We need an answer. What do we do best? It can be a single word answer. It can be a multiple word answer. But it can't be in sign language because then we can't read it. You got to answer. What do we do best? Brian and Carrie, what do we do best?
So you comment while I keep going with what my point was.
Go.
My point is that one of the things that one of our students did was create this thing called the quarantine routine.
Yes.
And we have this group chat going with our students from SLAM, our self-aware leadership group.
Yeah, they're great.
And they sent us, one of the girls sent us over her quarantine routine. And we're like, I love the fact that she took the initiative to do that. obviously we have naturally adapted to creating new routines. Like I didn't even realize I had created a new routine until I realized I had created a new routine, if that makes sense. But it really has helped hinge so much of my days. And I was talking about it actually in my Simple Results women's group.
Yep.
We were talking about routines, and I shared that quarantine routine that one of the students shared, and so many people were like, oh man, I've got to do that. I've got to create a routine. So I sometimes take for granted that people don't necessarily know instinctively. At least I covered my mouth. We've got relevant media in studio today.
Yeah, we do. That was fun.
Not everybody knows to purposely create a routine, and not everybody does it naturally. So
these are important things.
We're here to talk about the value of a routine, really every day, but more importantly, when you get kicked off your normal routine, how essential it is to recreate something that can keep you directed during the day.
This is very, very, very important stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, I want to add that Tanya Powers is here. I love her so much. Brandy says your women's group is fire.
And I'll tell you how to find that if you guys
It's also snaps, because that's a word also. Yeah. Okay, but just so I'm going to, the Crew Nation is speaking. And so over under, I've taken some notes here. By the way, a lot of people are saying bless you. She says thank you. We teach, we entertain, we inspire, we motivate, we love, we make people smile, we help people make decisions, we make complex things simple, and we create impact. Those are the overarching answers so far.
You know, that makes me happy.
That gave me the feels, guys.
That makes me happy.
I got all the feels. We're done.
No, we're not.
Okay.
But where do you want to start your routine?
Easy peasy. Okay, so.
Build one.
I like build one. Cal Ripken.
I just lost my shoe. I'm going to see.
I'm Cal Ripken. You need a routine? Build one. Okay, number 3.
Today I'm wearing a boring outfit, but I'm going to see if every day I can wear a different outfit every day.
Some guy named Chase is on our live stream right now. He's sitting right there.
Hey.
Okay.
Let's go.
But this is important stuff now, so focus. You said something very interestingly, that some people naturally create routines.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's dissect that as an opener, okay? Number 1, everybody creates routines. And this is a conversation I've had with a lot of people over the years, and I've taught this topic many, 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 many times. There are certain fundamental aspects of the human animal that are really widespread. They're quite universal. It's just the way we operate, okay? You got to remember, the mind and the brain, they're operating systems. If you want to simplify and declutter the whole aspect of chemical imbalance this, or early childhood trauma that, all we're dealing with is operating systems, okay? And just like a computer or a phone, if you restore or nourish or alter the operating system, you can get it functioning perfectly, brand new, all over again. And that's a really important point to start with, I think, okay? That's number 1. Number 2 is part of the human trait that I was just referring to is routine. The number of people who have told me that, I don't have any routines. You do. You might not think you do, but you absolutely do. How our language presents itself to us when we first wake up in the morning is a routine. The pant leg or the sock we put on first is an unconscious routine. You'd be so surprised if you were to dissect your own life, how many routines you actually have. From how you get to work. I mean, if I wanted to really help people understand the routine orientation they have, and I've done this before with personal clients, I mandate that they take alternate ways to work. Quite literally, okay? And I say, this is how you get into work today. And the funny thing is A, it opens people's eyes to 2 factors. Number 1, how routine they were, even though they professed they had no routines. And number 2, and this is actually true, this is a very neurologically scientific factor that a lot of functional neurologists present to people in rehab situations, is that you don't realize how asleep you are. You function so much on routines that when you're snapped into creating a different routine, meaning maybe your personal coach requires you to take a different pattern to work that day, hyper awareness. Right. All of a sudden you're overstimulated. You see the sky differently. You're thinking through things differently. You're paying attention with more vibrance to your surroundings. Right. All because you've stimulated certain new neurons and synaptic connections in your brain that require you to be more aware. Which is why routines are both habitual and good, but they need to be undone sometimes and fit back together in order to keep growing the gray matter, on this half foot of real estate above our necks. It's really important. And I know you want to say something. I'm so sorry because I'm doing the BG long-winded thing. But the last thing I'll say is this. Well, it's actually two things. Some people adapt more quickly and easily when confronted with new routines. That'd be her.
It's kind of pointing him.
Some people adapt a little slower. That'd be me. Okay? So don't get on yourself if you haven't adapted to the new zombie apocalypse just yet. It's a personal thing how your brain coordinates itself, right? But the last thing I'll say is this. Aside from the obvious concerns of health, and our blessings and prayers go to everybody around the world right now who is experiencing coronavirus firsthand, meaning they're ill themselves or a family member or friends they know have fallen ill. Blessings to all of you, and our prayers are with you, and that's a truism every single day of our lives. But if it's not affecting you personally yet, don't altogether brush this off as a bad thing for you. This is a wake-up call. This is a moment of time where we can all look at life and our patterns and our routines. And maybe, just maybe, it's a time you needed for a bit of a shakeup where you can start to have forced upon you pattern interruptions. And now you have to recreate them. And that's neurologically, spiritually, a very good thing. So this is an important show for that reason. You're just picking up my phone like, it's yours.
So
what were you reading?
I was reading Colleen's question.
Okay.
So my point from 3 minutes ago now isn't as valid anymore, but I'm going to say it anyways. No, because you kind of covered it, but I just want to, let me go back because I want to say it, is that we got to, thank you. That was so not obvious.
Yeah, did Jesus give us a 5 minute
He gave us our 5 minutes. Today, we'll be flexible today.
Yeah.
But, so what I want to say is that, and you kind of already touched on this, our brains crave predictability.
Yes.
Scientifically, our brains crave predictability.
Which is why we establish routines more than
Which is the reason that whenever you're trying to create habit change, sometimes it's hard for people.
Yes.
I would probably argue, and I have no basis on this, that for people who don't necessarily adapt routines as easily, aka you,
Me.
Or you, if you're one of those people,
right.
I bet you changing habits is also equally as challenging.
Oh, for sure.
And so my point being is that it's often the time reasons habits are hard to break is because the brain craves predictability.
Yes.
And when you throw predictability off course, it like destabilizes the brain, and so the brain tries to pull you back down to what's known.
Agreed.
Which is the reason if you don't adapt your routines as quickly and as effectively, you might be experiencing some anxiety, some frustration, some stress, some overwhelm, some apathy, like a bunch of different emotions right now
Some
in this phase.
Yep.
Whereas someone who does adapt routines as quickly might be feeling very creative and inspired.
I agree. You're hinging upon a very important topic right now. Look, the world doesn't need to shrivel up into a scary ball and just rock ourselves to sleep. The world needs leaders who are going to adapt.
100%.
Right? Like, let's just take this away from the tragedy that it is for the people who are affected, just for 1 second, okay? This is what I'm teaching a lot of the entrepreneurs I work with right now. This is an opportunity for you to step into leadership. This is an opportunity for you to test your own adaptability. Businesses, people, families, we have to pivot, right? And those are the choices you have. The choices you have are to complain, to withdraw, to be afraid, to be panicked, to bitch, to moan, to woe is you, to doomsday, everything that's going on right now, including the economic downturn, or to pivot. To pivot. And when you choose to pivot, amazing things happen. You open up creative centers in your brain.
100%.
You turn on different stimulus from a hormonal standpoint, and you start to separate yourself from things like cortisol, things that drag us down, things that pull us into a sympathetic, state of our nervous system, which is a very stress-induced state. We get to relax, and when we relax, we release more energy and focus and intention, and endocrine-wise, we release more of our creative juices. And that's what the world needs right now. We need people to recognize that they have a choice. And if they're not making it, that's on them. But you can make a choice. And if you choose wisely, this is a time to adapt.
Right.
This is a time to pivot.
Right.
It's not a time to shrink.
You know, and I mean, of course, I agree with you wholly on that. And if you don't know how to do it, well, that's what we're here for every day, right? We're gonna support you in that. And you know, I've been pumping this out everywhere this week in my personal groups that I have. You know, I have a women's mentorship group, that Unstoppable Women. I'm just saying that because I'm going to reference it a couple of times. And I also have my Simple Results Women's Community, which is a free group here on Facebook. Mm-hmm. If you want to know more about it, just message me, okay? But that aside, I've been pumping out this concept all week because it was something I read earlier last week. Adapt to win, not to cope.
Yeah.
And I was like, I love that concept, right? Like, you know, adapting to cope probably is being met with some resistance, some lethargy, some anxiety. You're not going to work because you're not allowed out of the house, so you're staying at home. So your adaptation might be sitting on the couch and watching endless hours of TV, but you're not feeling good about life, right? That's adapting to cope.
Yeah.
But you have the opportunity right now to adapt to win. And why would you not choose that in this moment? Well, the reason you wouldn't choose that in this moment is one, probably because it's not your natural instinct, or two, because you've just never been taught how.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to open your eyes to, is how can you adapt your routine while you're in quarantine to win at life.
I love what you said. Listen, there's no way we're going to do half-hour shows. Chase is standing right there ready to turn off. Because the half hour's done.
Well, we're gonna go until
we're gonna go for the longer.
We're gonna go for at least another 10 to 15 minutes today.
So you can sit your ass down, boy. Chase is like, don't talk to me like that. That was fair, actually. Let me say this. There were Lee Patterson. Oh.
Jennifer Owens is here.
Ow.
Oh, sorry, get me to do my. You guys don't see this when we're on Brian and Carrie on the air. The San Francisco's thing. Because I saw her little hat. I went to the Super Bowl with her. It's a perfect time. Ready?
Yep. Do you want to do the San Francisco 49ers cheer?
Sure, Brian. Oh. It's for my homie girl.
You look like a Viking.
I am a Viking.
It's me too.
I'm more Viking.
That's not true.
I'm more Viking.
That's not
we
true.
have actual fact that I'm got more blood Viking in me.
We have fact that I have blood Viking man as well.
No one's done your genetic profile.
No one's done yours?
Yes, he has. My Uncle Ben has done our entire lineage.
This is not true, but let me tell you something. Lee Patterson did Joanne says go Chiefs.
Yeah. No, wait. No!
Lee Patterson put a comment before that made me realize that I'd forgotten some things. You ready? I need a Sea of Hearts right now. Sea of Hearts if you want us to talk to you about quarantine routines.
Chase asked us yesterday if we were going to have our banners and stuff.
Sea of Hearts.
So we'll do it.
We're not going to teach anything until you give us Sea of Hearts. That's the first thing. The second thing I want to say is hashtag, because it's going to be a barn burner. Everybody hashtag barn burner right now.
Hashtag it, barn burner.
Barn burner. Oh, there's a Sea of Hearts.
Are you hot? How are you not boiling right now? Because it's hot in here and I'm not in a jacket.
I'm warm, but I'm adaptable. Quarantine routine.
Let's talk about it.
Okay, let me say this. I'm going to say this. You ready?
Yeah.
Number one.
Uno más.
Do you know what has to be the priority in your quarantine routine?
I know.
You.
I was going to answer it.
Do you know what it has to be the priority in your quarantine routine?
You!
Correct. Thank you for everybody who's hashtagging barn burner. But no, this is a point that is, are you okay?
It's so bright.
Let's just do the show like that. So, no, go ahead, come on.
My eyes are particularly sensitive.
This is a point that we have seen people neglecting a great deal right now, right? And they're, what are you doing?
I can't hold my hand.
The zombie apocalypse.
But it's really bright for me. Anyways, keep going.
People are neglecting themselves.
Completely.
Massively. and they're massively neglecting themselves, and they're hiding behind certain things. Some of the things that we're hearing, because people are talking, that's what they're hiding behind, is I don't have time to take care of me right now. Actually, you have more time. But really, part of the thing you have to want to peel the onion away on is, what are you doing with your time?
Right.
Because 9 out of 10 people who've told me that, I get it, BG, I've got to prioritize myself right now, I just don't have the time. When I ask them to do a TikTok, an hour by hour count in their day, how they're spending that hour, you know what they're finding? They're watching the news. They're watching for updates. They're scrolling social media.
Right.
So you've got to want to get away from the bullshit. Okay? Another one, because parents, we have kids, we get it. Parents are home with their kids. And that's a very unusual place to be for a lot of parents. It can't matter. You need to use the thing we talked about before, adaptability, pivoting. You need to decide how to carve out time in a day where Junior or Sally, whoever we're talking about, can be occupied over there with this thing or with that person. And you give yourself the hour or whatever it is you need to prioritize you. The number one concern I have right now, okay, is not the infection rate. It's not hospitals bursting at the seams. It's not the recession. My number one concern for humanity is mental and emotional health.
Totally.
Because that is what's going to kill us faster and worse than anything else.
Yeah.
If people stop taking care of themselves or don't start taking care of themselves, we're going to get squirrely, we're going to get cabin fever, we're going to have a rash of problems that we can't even begin to understand right now. Right when this all ends and the world's going back to work, we're going to have a workforce of people who are depressed, who have high anxiety. And we don't need that. We need leaders. We need leaders stepping up and stepping in to get the world moving again. Take care of you. That's the number one part of this quarantine routine.
Can I speak to that?
Of course.
So I want to speak specifically
What's
to
up,
that,
Cecily Casey?
because it's actually one of the things that has come up from multiple people in questions this past week for myself. You know, with regards to my own routine, one of the things that I did, or I should say didn't do, was change my typical morning routine.
I've never sat like this in Brian&Carrie in the morning.
I know.
It's weird.
There is an allure for some people right now to set their alarms later and to laze around in bed,
You know,
and to go slower. And
I
I've
agree.
actually, every single one of my private clients, I have emphasized the point, and the women I work with, to keep your morning routines the same, as much the same as possible. Because more than you realize, your day starts and stops with your morning routine, right? So for me, for example, you know, up until last week, when our life was normal, like the pre-apocalypse normal, I was waking up at 6 a.m. and then I would go and do my morning cardio in the gym. From there, I'd come upstairs and I'd have my coffee and my journal and get ready for the day. And at that point, usually we were out of the house.
Yeah.
So you guys all know, because I don't particularly love waking up early.
Yeah.
But over the last several weeks, I've really crafted these mornings that I've enjoyed getting up early and going down and doing my cardio.
Sure.
Now, I had the opportunity, because our days are different, that I could have pushed that back.
Yes.
And like woken up with no alarm, woken up at 8 a.m. But I did it one day, and I think it was on the course of the weekend actually I did it. And I noticed that I was like, I just don't feel the way I normally feel.
Yeah.
And so I can't go to the gym right now because the gyms are all closed, right? So I took my morning fasted cardio to the stairs.
Yeah.
I walk 45 flights of stairs.
It's a really inspiring thing to watch every morning, to be honest.
Because I need to get fasted cardio.
Yeah.
So I climb 45 flights of stairs every morning. I go outside, it's dark, I come back home and I sit down and I do my journaling with my coffee every day. But like, that is a routine that sets my day. And more now than ever, people are given an abundance of time, even though they don't necessarily recognize it that way. And they don't recognize the value of that morning routine setting them straight in the chaos.
I agree. And look, I want to double down a little bit. I really do believe your morning routine should be about you in every conceivable way. And now look, there are parents here who have young kids, and that might not be as possible. I get that. But still, like, what we're asking you to consider is pivoting. What we're asking you to consider is being adaptable and not just staying stuck and thinking, well, I can't do that, B and C. There's no can't. The world can't have can'ts right now. The world needs leaders to step up, pivot, modify, adapt, and keep going.
Right.
And the world is going to need more leaders stepping in to healing this world when this quarantine stuff comes to an end. We're going to need that. And we need soldiers on the front lines who are healthy, spiritually, physically, mentally, and emotionally, to step back into the world to repair and heal the people who are truly sick. Okay? We need that. So I want to double down that the first 3 hours of our day are all about our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being.
Right.
And that's our quarantine routine. We're both up at around 6, sometimes a touch before that. Carrie goes and does stairs, which I think is just so inspiring. You know, she's not a morning person, but she gets up, she puts on a Rocky hoodie. Dun, 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 dun.
I can never get that right.
Yeah, I think you were doing Indiana
Do
Jones.
it again.
Yeah, right? But it's inspiring to watch. And you either walk down or take the elevator down to the first floor, you go right into the stairwell, and then you climb 45 floors. And that, by the way, isn't our entire cardio.
No.
When you're done that, you go back to the first floor and go for a 10-minute walk.
Yeah,
right?
a brisk walk.
And then for me, I don't, because I'm a powerlifter, fasted cardio means absolutely nothing to me.
Right.
I go for a half-an-hour walk.
Right.
It's quiet, there's nobody around, there's no 6 feet of physical distancing I have to worry about, except for the zombies. But I outrun them. I'm good. We're good. I go for half, but then when we come back to this apartment, we also do a bit of strength work, right? We're both athletes. You've got a competition in 13 weeks. I got a powerlifting meet at the beginning of June as well. So we do what we can here. And when I say what we can, I'd be willing to bet that in the 25 minutes I do strength work, when I get back from my half-an-hour walk, it's more intense than most people at the gym anyways.
Sure.
I push myself. I use bands. I use pulleys. I do it. I use the minimal things I have, and I get a great strength workout in. Then we brew some coffee. That's the highlight.
I brew coffee.
Because I'm not allowed to use the machine.
She's not allowed to. What? Sorry.
We should do a show on that coffee machine.
Keep going, because I have something that I want to say about all this.
I get my coffee out there. Carrie gets her coffee and comes into the bedroom just over there, and we both spend an hour journaling. We get it. I love this. There's a great powerlifter who's retired now named J.M. Blakely. And he used to always talk to powerlifters about, you guys think this is a physical thing. It's not. It's a mental, emotional, spiritual thing. And this is the phrasing he used to use. You got to get right with yourself. And I love that. So for an hour with coffee, I get right with myself.
Right.
I journal my language. I count my wins. I review my direction. What was the last one?
Imagine your outcome.
What she said. I do all of it.
If you don't know, we're going to talk about it this week.
That's tomorrow or
That's
something.
right.
And Carrie does the same, and then I come in here when we're both done, and we fifth pillar to each other. Physical, mental, emotional, spiritual health comes first, and we spend 3 hours doing it.
Right. Yeah.
And by the way, the vibrancy, the energy that I think you can probably see right now, it's not like we're going to bed at 8 o'clock in the evening. We go to bed at 11 o'clock at night. We get up at 6. We do that for 3 hours. The vibrancy of the energy you're seeing is because of that.
Right. Because it feeds
Right? Because
us.
people are like, oh, it's 3 hours. I'll be so tired. Because it's what you need. You need to move. You need to be right with yourself. You need to have the right perspective at times like this, and it's going to give you more energy, not less.
Right. Let me add to that, because if I were to tell everybody, like,
Lee Patterson says we're fucking bonkers.
if I was to tell everybody to make sure you do one thing after this show, is to make sure you craft your morning routine. That's the first thing.
Yes.
I would literally, everybody craft a morning routine that feels good to you. The feels good is important. So I have 2 things to say. Don't derail me. Like, nobody distract me, okay?
Which was code for Brian, don't talk.
No.
I got
Don't
you.
derail me.
I'll be here.
So the first thing is, experience matters a lot. And I think sometimes people trudge through their morning routines without recognizing the impact of cultivating an experience that feels good. Now, experience for everybody's different. So my experience is not going to be the same as yours, but I protect my experience more than you could possibly imagine. Like, Brian's making fun of my Rocky hoodie. Well, you're not making fun of it, but
think
like,
it's awesome.
you know, you're commenting on my Rocky hoodie. It's all part of the experience. Every night before I go to bed, I put my clothes there. The morning I wake up, I do my weight check-in, I get in my hoodie, I put my hood up, I put my AirPods in. The whole thing it has a feeling that goes with it. In the morning, because daylight savings time came and it's dark now when I sit down to journal instead of bright sunlight. And believe it or not, that impacted me at first. I was like, well, I can't journal in the dark. It's messing with my juju. So I went out and bought candles.
Yes.
And now my morning experience of journaling is under candlelight until the sun starts to come up. But I really value cultivating an experience, okay? Don't just journal or clock in whatever you're doing in the morning as a task. Be in it. Now, on the off the cuff of that, you know, when you have your morning routine, if you have a morning routine and once you've created it, protect it. And I'm going to give you an example of that. Brian says, like, you know, we do it for three hours, right? Mm-hmm. But honestly, in my schedule, because I can't speak to yours, from 6 a.m. till 11 a.m., nothing's getting scheduled in that.
That's actually why we chose
right?
11 a.m. for the show.
And it sounds like I was kind of hardlining it, but when we were talking about this on Friday, you, me, and Justin, I was like, as long as we could do it at 11 a.m.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll journal for 2-3 hours. Yeah. Other times, I just want to take my time and connect in the morning. But that morning time for me, that chunk of time has become an optimal time right now.
Absolutely.
That I know right now for me to elevate, to be able to stay connected to myself, I need to have that space and that time to do that. So once you have your morning routine, protect it and keep it safe.
Sacred. Agreed. Look, I'm gonna do an unpopular thing right now.
Okay.
I'm gonna end our show here.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I'm going to tell you why. Because we could keep going for the next 3 hours. That's why.
Okay. Oh my God! It's already 11:45.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Thank God.
But here's the thing. Okay. First of all, Kathy Puso quoted me and said, "Get right with yourself," and I think those are words that we both want you to take with you from this show. Okay. Yeah. You can't be right with the world. You can't ward off the real health concerns floating around our world right now. You can't emotionally, mentally, and spiritually cope with this level of concern and panic unless you're right with yourself. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's not about being right with the world, it's about being right with you. And when you're right with yourself, you can be right with the world, but you come first. Mm-hmm. So remember that, okay? Now, this entire week, as a matter of fact, for the foreseeable future, Brian and Carrie in the Morning is back. 10:50. Every single morning, Monday through Friday, we'll be here with our pre-show. Mm-hmm. And then roughly 11 to 11:30 and thereabouts will be Brian and Carrie in the Morning. So we expect you back at 10:50 tomorrow morning, Eastern Standard Time, back here for our pre-show. We've got lots to talk about, lots to teach, lots to inspire you with, and probably some entertaining stuff along the way as well. So,
I don't know if we're entertaining.
Sea of Hearts, if you're going to be back with us this entire week. And in closing, let me say this, because Lisa Arsenault made a request. And I actually think it's the most fitting thing possible to close this show special episode number 1. The 4 pillars, remember. Review where you're going.
Count your wins along the way.
Imagine all that glory.
And be mindful of what you say.
Thanks for watching, guys. See you tomorrow.
Bye.